Hello, I'm Ember. Welcome back to the channel. I hope you're doing well today. It has been a long time since I recorded anything. My camera had dust on it. It had like disconnected from my recording software, so I had to set it all up again. So if anything looks different in terms of like the zoom or anything like that, I'm just winging it, honestly. I've got no idea what I'm doing. But hopefully this goes okay. Today I wanted to check out the ATEEZ Killing Voice video, which came out ages ago, and I never watched it because I said I was going to record my reaction to it. Some requests came through on the request form to react to it, so I kept putting it off, like I have to wait until I can record it. And I just never got around to it. Someone did mention it to me the other day and said, have you seen it yet? And I was like, no. So today I'm going to check it out. ATEEZ are one of my favourite groups that I have discovered by doing these reactions. I'm still not up to date with their discography because they've got so many damn songs that it's just really difficult to kind of work my way through them all. So I'm gonna just check and see if there's anything in here that I've not heard, but I have heard a lot of their music now, so hopefully I will know just about all of them that we see. What do we got? Wait, I love Wave. First song I ever heard by them. Bouncy. Don't know what that one is. Treasure. Answer. Say My Name. Fireworks. Deja Vu. Guerrilla. Eternal Sunshine. Utopia. Turbulence. Fever? Have I heard Fever? I feel like I've heard Fever. It was probably one I heard really early on, but I don't listen to very often. Empty Box, Crazy Form, Work, and The Real. Oh, these are some great songs. The only one I don't know what it is this one, because we've just got the Hangul. I don't know. Maybe I'll recognize it when I hear it. Let me see what we're doing with subtitles. No subtitles, so unless they've got them kind of included in English, then we're just gonna have to wing it. We have had that with the Killing Voice videos before. Now, it has been nearly a year now that I've been 18E. My birthday is in just under 2 weeks, and I started my K-pop reactions for my birthday last year, and I think it was probably my second video or third video that I looked into ATEEZ, and I heard Wave, which was my first ATEEZ song, and then started to kind of get into them from there. So it's been about 11 months that I've known ATEEZ. So this is kind of really nice timing to watch this. So let's go into it and have a listen. They always look so stylish.
딩고 왔어? 네. 자, 인사부터 드리겠습니다. 둘, 셋.
헬멧소팀 안녕하세요, 에이티즈입니다.
I don't need subtitles to know that.
에이티즈가 드디어 킬링 보이스에 나오게
Very
되었는데요.
famous intro.
오늘 재밌는 곡들과 또 신곡까지 준비를 했으니까 기대 많이 해주시고, 저희 노래를 모르시는 분들도 듣고 좋으시다면 플레이리스트에 넣어주시고, 또 아시는 분들이 있다면 즐겁게 즐겨주시면 감사하겠습니다. 그럼 시작해 보겠습니다.
His sang always looks so soft. So soft boy. The song that started it all.
Just going on. 지는 태양을 향해 갈 때에 멈추고 싶은 순간이 와도 머리 한번 쓸어 넘기고 외쳐 하쿠나 마타타야. 더더 밀려와도 하쿠나 마타타.
Such a nice voice. We're like 30 seconds in, we've already got Yoongi doing their thing.
여기에 우리 태양 아래 누구보다 더 뜨거우니까 걱정하지 마 걱정하지 마 걱정하지 마 저기 파도를 넘어
ATEEZ is so unserious. I love them. Before we go on to any more of their songs, I feel like it's going to be easier for me in terms of like remembering what I want to say rather than waiting all the way until the end and then forgetting if I just like stop in between the songs. But for me, this is like such a sentimental song, being the first song that I heard by them. And there's something really just like I remember the feeling that I felt when I first heard that song. And in this like segment of it that they've chosen to sing, you really hear the two parts of the song that really caught my attention the first time I heard it. I remember being absolutely enamored with Mingi's voice, and it was really one of the first groups that I had heard, except for maybe Stray Kids, where we had like a proper bass boosted voice in the group. So Mingi's voice, I was absolutely blown away by it. Not just because it's a deep voice, but there was just something so satisfying about the way that he sung all of his lines, not just the chorus, but all of his lines in Wave. I absolutely loved it. And I still like, when I think of Wave and I think of the music video, I still like can picture him in the blue sweater. You know, like there was just something really iconic about Mingi in that music video. So he just really caught my attention right off the bat. And I was like, okay, this group, like it's already catching my attention more than any other group that I've seen so far. And then we had Jongho singing the kind of really high note part near the end there. And I remember watching again the music video and hearing that voice in the background, but I didn't know who it belonged to. But I was like, okay, someone in this group can hit some really powerful notes. And it was like one of my first impressions of the group was, you know, Jongho's voice really was kind of what drew me in. And I was like, who did that voice belong to? So I just get like so nostalgic listening to this song and thinking about like my first introduction to ATEEZ. And it was only kind of last month that I rewatched the Wave music video, because obviously when I first saw it, I didn't know who anybody was. And I spent a good, month or two trying to learn all of the members. I had gotten to that point where I could just about recognize everyone except who I said the two people with Y names, which was Yesang and Juno. And they were always the ones that I left till last, which is ironic considering Yesang is now my bias in the group. One of my biases in the group. It's odd to me to think I struggled to recognize any of them. You know, I feel like I could pick them out with my eyes closed at this point. And that's always the way it is, I know, but it's just funny to me. But to listen to this song and get so nostalgic and remember what it was like to watch that music video, not knowing who anyone was, you know, and getting to rewatch it last month and be like, oh, so that was Woo Young dancing at that point and stuff like that. It's really, really nice. So I think this will always be one of my top 3 ATEEZ songs. Just for sentimental reasons, and you know, it's ocean themed. It's such a great song. I absolutely adore this song. I really, really do.
어우 맵다 매워 준비됐어? 오케이 What you gonna say?
Straight on to Bouncy.
Don't you want about me? I got time but it's not for you bro. Don't you realize what I'm saying?
Hongjun in glasses is everything, by the way. Love it.
결사던 모든 걸 불어내 멈추지 셀순 없어 Bring back microphone 볼륨 올려 Sit back and relax everybody 느껴봐라 이게 우리 소리야 Come on everybody Dingo Slow it down make it bouncy 지금부터 fly 좀 다른 spicy 청양고추 vibe If you wanna know how I can show you right now 오랜만 되지 bouncy 우리부터 fly girl make it bouncy 지금부터 fly 좀 달라 spicy 청양고추 vibe If you wanna know how I can show you right now 구길져 bounce bounce 하늘 위로 fly fly
I love Yesang's voice so much. Bouncy, by the way, was one of the songs that I heard that I wasn't so sure about to begin with. I think that is in my reaction. I think I watched it and I was like, I don't know about this one. And there's a couple of songs that ATEEZ have done that are like that. Guerrilla is another one, which I think is coming up in this video. It's another one where I think with Bouncy, because I obviously gravitate towards like really pretty vocal songs, and Bouncy is not that. It is quite like a gritty, grungy type song. But quite often with songs like that, I end up adoring them as time goes on. I mean, the main ones that I think of are like this, Guerrilla, with Zyka's, it was Tricky House. There's another group as well that did a very not pretty song that I ended up adoring. I just end up, because they're so catchy and they really do grow on you, and now I love them. I mean, I had trouble not singing along to that. I did with Wave as well. I learned the lyrics to Wave. So it you know, you just kind of want to sing along to it. It's so catchy. So it's really, it's always funny to me to hear Bouncy and Guerrilla and be like, yeah, I wasn't sure about this song to begin with, and now I adore it so much.
소년의 첫 항해가 시작된 곡입니다. ATEEZ의 데뷔곡 Hierarchy.
Big appreciation for Yesang's voice too. I really love his voice.
Will you join us?
Beat me up, beat me up 우린 요동치는
Pirate
진짜
King.
Ready set, get ready set 점점 발을 굴려 아주 뜨겁게 해가 따라져도 go 뱃줄을 파는 get it I feel like somebody who get it 우주에 닿을 때까지 발을 들고 세 아쉬운 피처 face 좀 다출라 지가라 패스 yeah 끝없이 향해 let it go to till the end 이제 낯을 올려라 어두운 맘을 걷어라 어디든지 we can go 우린 모두 돼 우릴 따라오면 돼 손을 높게 들어 너와 나 타는 불빛 아래 찬란한 그곳으로 Step 1, 2, 3 and 1, 2, 3 let's go 노래져 나가자
You know, it's such a happy pill. You just see him and you want to smile.
노래져 나가자 Running up 정상을 향해 turn it up
I think that's the one that I didn't recognize, by the way, because it's all in Hangul, is Pirate King, which makes sense. It's their debut song, so it would be. In terms of like debut songs, it's probably one of my favorite debut songs. If I had to pick like, oh, what's your favorite debut song you've heard from a group, it would be probably this and But I Like You for Boy Next Door. It's really, really nice. And it has really satisfying choreography too. This is one of the songs that I heard them perform live. And it, like, watching them do the choreography for that was amazing. That and Say My Name has the most satisfying choreography to watch live. It's so great.
내 생각만으로 자꾸 멈춰 함께 발을 맞춰 그곳으로 yeah 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 멈추지 않아 rush 세상을 뒤집을 듯이 그 누구도 찾지 못한 곳으로 My treasure 이제 떠나자 저 곳으로 우릴 부르는 저 treasure 어서 떠나자 찾아 떠나자 every day every night savage, yeah yeah. 우리는 savage, yeah yeah. 진도와 savage. We're savage. 누구도 막지 못해. 날 만난다면 no way. 저 반짝이는 별을 줘. 손을 뻗어 잡아봐. 속에서 보던 너를 찾아. 계속 우리 비추는 starlight. 지금 이 순간 난너 시간이 돼 더 이상은 못 미루면 못 믿어 I don't give a damn 우리 둘이라면 대충 준비됐지 Let's get it when you step bam
Jungho's voice will never cease to amaze me. It's been nearly a year, I'm still blown away. Hell yeah, I actually don't listen to Treasure very often. In fact, it's been months, I think, since I've heard it. It's in my playlist, I just don't think to listen to it very often, but it's such a good song. It's got really, really nice vocals in it. I appreciate Yuno's vocals in it a lot. And it always reminds me that Mingi and Hongjoong are like two of my favorite K-pop rappers. Like, I think along with Changbin and Han from Stray Kids and Jungsub from P1 Harmony, those are my top 5 K-pop rappers. I love their rap, and I think Treasure is a really good showcase of how good they sound. I think are they wearing their member rings as well? Jongho's wearing a ring that looks like the member ring, and I was like, is that the member ring? Yeah, they are. They're wearing the member rings. That's so cool. Ugh, keep the scissors away from Songwa's hair, please. I love him with longer hair. Such a good look for him. Such a nice voice. Your high notes, I love them. Answer is my favorite ATEEZ song. Are they gonna sing Halazia in this? I don't think I saw Halazia, right? But everyone, yeah, they're not. Okay, that firstly is a betrayal. Halazia should be in here no matter what. You add on an extra 3 minutes and you put Halazia in here. I know a lot of people are gonna think Halazia is my favorite song because I talk about it non-stop. And I've said before it's my favorite ATEEZ song. And it's on my bucket list to hear it live. I'm determined to hear Halazia live. I will cry if I get to hear Halazia live. So most people are gonna think Halazia is my favorite ATEEZ song. And when I tell you it is close second, it is like it's fractional difference. I am obsessed with Halazia, it is true. However, Answer is my favorite ATEEZ song. And I know that's a surprise to some people because I never talk about it, but I love this song. I'm obsessed with this song. It is beautiful. It's got a lot of high vocals. It's very pretty. The melody is just beautiful. And it does a lot of really interesting stuff with the vocals mixing together. So if you kind of pay attention during this, you'll see that there's not many times where someone is just singing by themselves. You quite often hear other stuff going on vocally in the background. And someone did post on X, on Twitter, a video or an audio clip of them isolating the backing vocals in Answer because you have so much going on in the background and it just adds to this like kind of ethereal quality. Answer has a really ethereal quality to me, and it just sounds absolutely heavenly because of all the interesting things they're doing. So even when I think it's when Sungwa's singing, you can hear someone else singing with him. When Jongho sings, you can hear someone else singing in the background, and it's not like they're singing two totally different things. It's just like adding to the melody, adding an extra layer to the vocals. So there's something absolutely gorgeous about Answer, and I never get sick of hearing it. And the music video for it as well, like Halazia, is stunning, absolutely stunning. When I hear the beginning of Answer, every single time I hear it, I picture in my head the beginning of the music video with San standing up on the table and like tipping the cup. I can see it in my head every single time, and I've watched that music video twice. Once was when I first heard it, like nearly a year ago, and the second time was maybe a couple of months after that. I've not seen the music video in a long, long time, and I can still picture it in my head really clearly. And the choreography of where they're all standing around, again, I think it's San who's standing in the middle, and he like leans back and does this kind of really nice choreography move. It's such an impactful music video to me, like it's stuck in my head all this time. So it is my favorite ATEEZ song, followed very, very closely by Halazia. And depending on the day that you ask me what my favorite ATEEZ song is, they probably switch. And some days I'll say Halazia over Answer, with Wave being my third favorite ATEEZ song. I can't imagine they're ever going to release a song that will change those top three, purely because there's almost like a sentimental attachment to all three of those. So they've released some damn good music recently, really damn good music. I've been loving their comebacks, but I just don't think anything could shake those top three for me, because I am so attached to all three of them, you know? Like there's so much sentimental like attachment there that I don't think any song could dethrone them. I don't know. Love Answer so much.
모두 여기로 높은 곳으로 함께라면 no down 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 손을 들어라 소리 질러라 더 짙은 시작을 위해 저기 저 달빛을 부를 때 세상을
This is why we need Halazia in the Killing Voice video. Yasang's vocals in that? How could they skip it?
나를 불러줘 나를 불러줘 내 손을 잡아봐 내 눈을 바라봐 내 이름은 A2Z 내 이름은 A2Z 나를 불러줘 나를 불러줘 내 손을 잡아봐 내 눈을 바라봐.
Love Say My Name. It's another song that I heard live with Korea on stage, and they did the choreography, and it was amazing. I do love it. I love Yusang's vocals. I love Mingi's deep voice in this as well. And honestly, this is just a song that I listen to all the time because it's really, really satisfying to listen to. I love it. Love it so much.
알고 있잖아 지금 넌 네가 느끼고 있는 이 떨림을 내 옆으로 와 내 자리로 와 우린 뜨겁기 위해서 어떤 것도 필요 보여라 타올라라 번져 높이 타올라라 번져 Ready now firebomb 지금 우린 마치 불놀이야 불놀이야 말리지마 말리지마 불 끄지마 세상 마지막인 듯 Hop it away 여긴 지금 부셔버릴 것 같은 불놀이야 오나나 think about it 불놀이야 오나나 트루타테 불놀이야 오나나 feel about it 불놀이야
Was this is Fireworks, right? Fireworks, I'm the One. Was this the song that Mingi wasn't in the music video, and I spent like didn't I spend an unhealthy amount of time trying to work out who was missing? Oh, what, I have to check. Was it this one? There was a music video that Mingi wasn't in, and I got to like halfway through it, and I was like, there's only 7 people. Oh my god. And I spent ages. It was the one where San had the waist thing going on. I know that doesn't narrow it down because, you know, but he nearly killed me. Yeah, this. Yeah, that nearly killed me the first time. I remember there's a radio, right? Is it this song? The radio that gave it away. Right here. Yeah. Okay. I spent so much time on this, didn't I? Trying to work out who was missing because I didn't know the members. And I obviously didn't know Mingy's like fix on thing very well. So I don't think anyone really told me about that to begin with, that was like his thing. So when I saw fix on the radio, it didn't mean anything to me. But I did get there. I was like, wait, there's 7 people and they're all sitting around listening to the radio and someone's singing and it's not any of the 7 people and it's Mr. Bass Boosted. I was so proud of myself for working that out. Fireworks is another one I don't listen to very often, but I really should because it's really, really good. And I think it's quite an underrated ATEEZ song as well. A lot of people, I think, don't appreciate it as much as it's deserved. It's a really, really nice song. Deja Vu is such a good song.
So bad, oh. 오늘곧 어떤 시간 어떤 운명이 날 너에게 끌어당기는 건지 네 숨이 내게 닿는다 내 숨도 내게 닿을까 내 숨이 멎는다 해도 다음 꿈에서라도 find you in my heart 미쳐가 너는 마주친 순간 멈출 수가 없지 끝이 없는 감정을 느껴 너에게 Deja vu
His voice is insane, man.
Deja vu 미쳐가 I want you so bad 미쳐가 우린 나의 도화지 속 작은 위로가 돼가고만 해 착각인지 병인지 혼란스럽지 내 맘이 널 원하는 거 본능인 거야 Deja vu
Deja Vu is another song that has an amazing music video, no? Where they're all dancing in the rain. It is iconic. And I think if I was going to recommend someone their first ATEEZ song ever, I would probably recommend Deja Vu. It's that perfect mixture of like, it's the ATEEZ vibe, but it's not too hard hitting. It's really kind of catchy. It's got an amazing music video. You know, like it's that perfect introduction to ATEEZ to get people hooked on it. I really love Deja Vu. You know, was really feeling that one too, no? He was doing the dance. I love it when they start doing the dance. They just can't help it.
I got it back 판을 뒤집어 that's game one chance 바로 제가 mad day like that 제꼭 강렬한 yes game no next 나를 따라 쉽게 지겨 와 저기 봐 new world 지겨 와 지겨 또 이제 지쳐 사라지는 emotion 정은 빛을 잃어가 웃으면 통제가 되어 감각만 남은 채 너 참을 수 없어
So pretty.
시간이 돼서 shoot the blazing light make a move 춤을 춰 break that wall 우리 필로 여기저기 울려 퍼져 Guerrilla This is so show 그게 기쁜 love 모두 다 눈 뜰 때까지 춤을 춰 break that wall 우리 필로 여기저기 울려 퍼져 Guerrilla This is how it fight 나를 gonna run 세상을 get what we are 춤을 춰 break that wall 우리 필로 세상을 바꾸고 we are the Guerrillas
Hell yeah. Guerrilla, another song that I heard live. I loved it. It's such a good song to hear live. It's amazing. Their energy is insane in that song. I listened to this song again, considering it's not one that I was a big fan of to begin with. And it, you know, because it's not a very pretty song, not what I normally go for, I wasn't sure it would be my thing. And it was the first ATEEZ song where I was immediately like, no, I don't like this. Like with Bouncy, I was like, I'm not too sure about it. With Guerrilla, I was like, mm-mm. And I was trying to find like nice things to say about it. I was like, this really is not my vibe. It's not for me. And I love it. I love it so much now. I'm not lying. I'm not saying it just because I love ATEEZ. I love this song. It is on my playlist as one I listen to most of the time. I listen to it a lot. But at the moment, I listen to it about every 2 days because I'm currently doing a workout every day. And one of the workouts that I do is an ATEEZ song workout, and Guerrilla is one of the songs in that. So I do love this song, but at the moment, hearing it gives me a bit of like, a little bit of ooh. I don't like that because it is the hardest song to do in the workout. It's very high energy. So whenever I hear it, I'm just like, oh God, like traumatized by this workout and scared to hear Gorilla. But no, it is a really, really great song. It's a song that really showcases how pretty San's voice is. He gets some really kind of pretty lines and higher register. Because San is one of those people that I didn't expect to be able to do such a high register singing. And I think I said that when I first looked into ATEEZ, right? And when I first heard San sing, I was constantly like, I can't believe that voice comes out of that person. Like he can really do a softer high register. And it was something that kind of drew me into him and to Songwa, was that kind of higher register. And then to hear like the lower register from someone like Yesang, honestly, this group was just full of surprises. It was really full of surprises for me. This is definitely a song as well, listening to it now, that really makes me appreciate Yuno's voice. He was the last member I learned to recognize, and he was the member probably that stood out to me the least to begin with. And kind of looking back on that now, I'm really kind of surprised. Not just at like, oh, I can't believe I couldn't recognize him and I always left him till last, you know, but just the idea that I didn't really appreciate his voice or notice his voice too much, whereas now I notice it all the time, and the kind of versatility in his voice. So it's another song really that I listen to and I'm like, yeah, I love Yuno's voice as well. It's such a nice voice, you know? You
네,
know,
방금은 에이티즈의
appreciation.
귀여운 뽀짝한 매력을 느낄 수 있는 이터널 선샤인입니다. 그럼 지금 시작합니다.
I love your sang so much. He makes me happy.
아름다운 풍경에 바래만 원한 직사겨져 내게 더 익숙하게 위에서 꿈꾸는 그곳 내 앞에 와 있을 거야 I come in to you, look at my heart Maybe 내 색깔은 보랏빛 봐 잔잔한 파도에 노래 담아 찾아온 8월을 스쳐
Such a good look for Mingi. He really rocks the accessories, you know?
Alright, turn it on, let's make it louder Can't stop the feeling 찬란하게 반짝임을 느낀 순간 Don't stop believing 영원보다 멀리 기억하고 싶어 We shine like eternal sunshine Oh so bright We shine like eternal sunshine We shine like eternal sunshine
Oh, what a great song. I love it so much. This is the 5th song that they sung at Korea on stage. We had Pirate King, Say My Name, Guerrilla, Bouncy, and Eternal Sunshine. And Eternal Sunshine was one that I was not expecting to hear live. So it was just wonderful to hear it because this is one of my top 80 songs as well. Definitely in the top 10. It's just my happiness song. I really can't think of many other songs that make me as happy as Eternal Sunshine makes me. It's a great song for the summer, like it is now. So I listen to it a lot, especially at the moment. And even when I'm having a really bad day at work or whatever, on my lunchtime, I'll just play this song and I will sing it as loud as I can. And it's just like the best thing in the world. It always makes me happy. It's such a happy song. I think this was one of the first songs where Yuno's voice really stood out to me as well. He had the red hair, right, in the music video. And I remember stopping the video afterwards to like find him and talk about his voice. The lines that he gets to sing are just really, really pretty in this. And they all just get like such pretty vocals, pretty lines. I love it so much. It was such a treat to hear this live, and they have so much fun with it as well. They weren't like doing too much choreography. They were like it because it was the last song like that they were finishing with. They just kind of jumped around the stage and was waving at everyone, and they had so much fun with it. It's such a beautiful song. It's definitely one of my favorites from them. I love the harder hitting songs like Guerrilla, and you know, they're really kind of badass vibes, but I also love their fun, sunshine, happy songs. And they always sound so pretty and so upbeat, and they make you feel like you can do anything just as much as the hard hitting ones do. So although you know, a lot of their comebacks recently have been quite badass in vibe and they've been great, it's always nice to get songs like Dreamy Day and things like that come through as well, because they really are wonderful, and it's always nice to get songs like this with kind of the bright colours, and they can just really have fun with it, you know? Love it. Oh, Utopia. This is a pretty vocal song.
So if I did in my dream today, I'm sure that we will find someday. 흐릿한 잔상을 쫓아가며 앨범만의 시그를 가는 sketchman. 모두의 맨날도 I'm fine. 주말다고 해도 I still calm. 존재 자체가 없는 세계라면 I'm making close to alright. Tell me that you're no more. Yeah. 꿈을 꿔서 우리 기다린다고 멈추지 않아 절대.
The higher register for the chorus. Love it.
We can touch Utopia. We can reach the Utopia. Every day, every night.
Insane. Hello? I forgot how high Songwoo goes for that part. I remember being stunned the first time I heard Utopia, trying to work out who that was. Normally, like, if any voice in ATEEZ blows me away, it's normally him, where I'm sitting there like, sir, you are ridiculous. You know, like, that is such a crazy voice. But when I first heard Utopia, I remember looking at this person belting out this high note and being like, that's not Jongho. I've recognized Jongho, that is not Jongho. And trying to work out who it was. And when I found out it was Songwoo, who at the time was starting to become my bias. He was my first bias in the group, I would say. And even though I couldn't recognize him because it felt like he shapeshifted in every music video and had such a different look in every music video, I couldn't really recognize Songwoo. But whenever I loved someone's voice, their vocal lines, their appearance in the music video, it normally ended up being him, just like by sheer coincidence. So he was already like one of the people I was picking out a lot. So to then have this person like absolutely belting out this high note and being like, who is this? And of course it was him. And it again, it's just so surprising. Like, there's a lot of idols that can do a higher register. Most idols, you know, because of their work, they have a fairly flexible register of what they can do. But to go that high and to be able to do that live, because I've seen, you know, clips of them singing Utopia live, and he just sounds like that. That's just his voice, people. He can just do that. And that's insane to me. It's so high pitched, it's so high register, and it's so pretty. It's definitely the highlight of the song. And, you know, one of the reasons why I love Utopia so much is Songwa's part in it. The thing is, right, I'm one of those people, as someone who now declares myself a multi-stan or a fan of multiple groups, I'm one of those people where it's like, I totally respect if a group is not your vibe. I'm never gonna like dislike you or judge you for not liking my faves, okay? That's never gonna be a thing. There are groups that I've listened to, some incredibly popular groups with massive fan bases that I've sat there and been like, actually, they're not my thing. And to be fair, for some of those videos, I expected to get crucified in the comments, and people actually were very kind about it. You know, we've all got our own taste, we've all got our own opinion. So even if a group is really big and really popular, they might not be your vibe, right? And so I've always respected that. At the same time, the reason why I'm a multi-stan is because, firstly, I'm not too fussy with my music. If it sounds nice and makes me happy, I'm gonna listen to it. But secondly, I can see how every single one of these groups are putting in effort. They're talented, they're working hard, they've had their struggles to get here. And I'm not the kind of person to be like, yeah, well, this group struggled more and they did it first, and, you know, stuff like that. I don't compare struggles like that. Just because someone might have struggled more or struggled first doesn't mean that this group also hasn't struggled and worked really hard, right? So I've always kind of been able to appreciate with every group that I've looked into, like, wow, yeah, they're creative, they're talented, they've put in effort, they've worked hard to get where they are. And so it's easy for me to love every group. And that's just the kind of person I am. But again, never gonna judge anyone for not being that way and not liking group. However, with ATEEZ, with ATEEZ, I really do struggle to understand how people can't be a fan of them, you know? Because their discography is so diverse that it's got to be impossible to hate every single song. No matter what you like, they've done something to that style that, you know? I feel like you've got to be able to find a song you enjoy by ATEEZ. And not only that, but like their voices are incredible. Absolutely incredible. You've got Jongho with the powerhouse notes. You've got Songwa being able to hit those high register. San obviously has a very pretty high register voice as well. Hongjun and Mingi absolutely kill it with the rap. Yuno and Wooyoung both have very smooth, silky voices to listen to. Your Sang has a very versatile voice. People really recognize him for that deep voice that you hear in Halazia, and I also really love that. But when you hear him sing like his covers and some of the solos he's done, you can really appreciate that he can do like the higher register as well. But it's not just that they all sound good, it's that they're also versatile. You know, like, so when I hear Songwa singing this high note in Utopia, sorry, I know I've rambled on a lot, but like the point I'm getting at is like when I hear Songwa's high note in Utopia, what I compare it to, what I think of, is how deep his voice goes in Mats. You know, when he's like rapping in Mats, how different that sounds. And there's been another song too. It might be on the Outlaw album, or it might be on the album that's got Crazy Form on it. It could even be on their most recent comeback. I don't remember. But there's been a couple of other songs where he goes like really low with his voice in like a really interesting way. And to think that's the same person who is doing these insane notes is absolutely bonkers to me. The versatility of this group and what they can do is insane. Where no wonder I had trouble learning who people were and like who's singing what part, because they can you know, they can do these high notes in one song, and then in the next song that sing person is doing some like really interesting low rap stuff. So it's like so versatile, it's bonkers. And to go from Jongho's high note straight into Songwoo's high note, it's like the most beautiful thing in the world. So good, no? I can't believe he sounds like that. And I can't believe you don't even get a second to recover from Jongho absolutely slaying that powerhouse note, going straight into Sungwoo singing that high note is insane to me. So Utopia will always be impressive to me, always. And it's another one I want to hear live if I can. Basically, I love ATEEZ and you should too. Which you probably do if you're here.
세상은 내게 추락만을 택하라는 듯 끝없는 어둠만 이 끝에 우린 어디로 어떤 모습으로 무엇이 되야만 하나 당진한 겨우 나이기도 벅찬 나인데 듣고 있나요 누군가 그저 안아줄 순 없나 우린 어디로 어떤 모습으로 무엇이 되야만 하나
So pretty. That is a song that will never not make me emotional. Did I cry or did I nearly cry when I first heard it? I think I nearly cried, right? I'll give myself credit and say I didn't cry, but I nearly did. But it made me very emotional when I first heard it, and it still does. I don't listen to the full version of Turbulence very often because it just gets me in my feels. But it is a gorgeous song, and I think you guys already know that I'm going to start with these two, the back and forth. You get the softness of Yesang's voice and the softness of Yuno's voice when they're singing like about the waterfall and they go back and forth. Beautiful. I love it. You see the emotion on Songwoo's face as he's singing. Love it. And I think it might be Woo Young who sings, you know, when they in the music video when he's like running and like starts to lift up into the air. That was the part that very nearly made me cry, kind of all the build up to that point in the song. And it just gets me in my feels, it really does. And Mingi as well, the way he sings in that is just gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Love that song, but I can't listen to it very often.
마주본 세상이 난 괴로워 No more no more no more no more yeah 이 모든 게 두렵기만 해 별 수 없이 잡을 수 없기에
You know it's feeling it right now.
저 방황 끝에 우린 어떨지 그 누구도 모를걸 조마심과 뒤틀림 떨림 So I gotta let it go
Ready.
So I gotta let it go Maybe we're living younger That's why we fever Maybe we're living younger That's why we fever So I gotta let it go
Have I heard that song before? I don't think I have. I didn't recognize any of that. No? Can we confirm? Have I just completely forgotten it? I thought that was in my playlist. I don't recognize a single syllable of that song. Search for ATEEZ songs in my playlist. Holy shit, that did not narrow it down. Eva? Eva? Hello? Eva? It's not in my playlist. It's because some of the songs are on albums called Fever. Inception was on Fever Part 1. Take Me Home and Fireworks is on Fever Part 2. Deja Vu is on Fever Part 3. And so is Eternal Sunshine. Fever Epilogue had Turbulence. Wow, they've got a lot of songs with Fever in the title. It's like how they did like The World, episode 1, 2, etc., right? I will not lie, some of their album titles get so confusing for me because they are all named the same with like little extra bits at the end that it's so difficult for me to remember what album they're on. I don't think I've heard that song, guys. Either. I don't even know if it has a music video. There's Turbulence. Oh, it does! Oh no, that's not official. That's by another account. That's very cheeky. They've put the KQ Entertainment logo on there, but it's not KQ Entertainment. That was very cheeky. Halazia. How could they miss that off? I don't even know. I love that song so much. I'm sorry, I'm getting distracted, but like, I really thought I'd heard it because I recognized the word, but it's just because there's so many albums with Fever in that I've got like songs in my playlist. Okay, Fever Part 1 had Fever on it. It's not one of the titles in bold. These three are in bold, which makes you think that they're more like the title tracks. But that is peculiar considering Fever is the name of the album and then the next album and then somewhere else we're gonna get Fever Part 3 here. You know? How peculiar. But I've never heard that song. I'm gonna have to listen to it. This is what I mean, right? There's so many songs that I have not listened to. If you look at their discography, I've heard Pirate King, Treasure, not heard anything else on this album. I've heard Say My Name, Hala Hala, and Promise, not heard the others. Utopia, Illusion, Wave, Aurora. Okay, I've heard everything on here except Crescent. I've heard Wonderland. I don't think I've heard that one. For some reason it looks familiar, but I don't think I've heard it. Wonderland. If Without You is in bold. I don't think I've heard that. Thank You. I've not heard that. The only songs I've heard on this are... This is a full-length album, and the only songs I've heard on this are Wonderland and... Nope, literally just Wonderland on this entire album. Answer My Baby. I really want to get these albums, but I don't think they sell them anymore. But they look... These ones, they look so pretty. I would love to get this one with Answer on it. I've not heard this. I've not heard Star 1117, although people have told me to listen to that. Not heard Precious. Answer's the only one on there that I've heard. So Fever is on this one, which I've not heard. That sounded really pretty, by the way. I really like that. I have heard Thanks, and I like Thanks. I've not heard this one that's in bold. I've heard Inception, but I have Bad. I love the song for Inception, but I don't like watching the music video anymore after learning about kind of what Songwell was going through at that time. It makes me really sad when I see the music video for it. So I kind of have a love-hate relationship with Inception where I love listening to the song, but I also don't really like thinking about the era too much and what he was going through in that time. So I don't listen to it too often. Good Little Boy. Now, I've never reacted to this song, and there are only really a couple of ATEEZ songs that I've heard that I've not reacted to, right? Normally, if I'm going to check out more of their music, I do a reaction video for you guys. So most of the discography of theirs that I've heard, I've put up on my channel. But there are a handful of songs that I've listened to in my own time. Good Little Boy is one of them, and the reason for that is because this is part of the workout that I do that I mentioned earlier. So Good Little Boy was one of the songs in the workout where I was like, wow, this is my first time hearing this. So I have heard that one. But again, you know, there's several songs here I've not heard. Heard Fireworks. Take Me Home I've heard. That's another underrated song, I feel like. Very nice song. I've not heard any of the others on there. Time of Love is in bold, but I've not heard that. I've heard Dreamers. Dreamers is gorgeous. I feel like Dreamers needs more love as well. People have told me to watch this Black Cat Nero thing. There's like a certain video that people recommended. And I don't think it's on the request form. It was like back in the comments on some of the earlier K-pop videos I put up. So I have no idea which one I was meant to watch. So I just ended up never getting around to it. So if anyone wants to remind me of what video for the Black Cat Nero I'm meant to watch for ATEEZ, I will check that out, because it is in the back of my head that I need to watch that. This is another one I've not reacted to, but I've heard because I really like Pentatonics. So when Pentatonics released this song, I listened to it. I think I might have heard it before I knew who ATEEZ were. I think. And then when I found ATEEZ, I still didn't click in my head that they were the people in the Pentatonics song. And it was only when people were like, hey, did you know some of the people in ATEEZ did a song with Pentatonics, that I was like, oh. So I have heard that song before I even started my channel. I think I listened to that. This one, I've heard Eternal Sunshine, Deja Vu, and Rocky, so again, only half of the songs on the album. This one, I've heard Turbulence and The Real, but I've not heard this other one in bold, The Letter, Be With You, stuff like that. Don't Stop was a single. I didn't even know that existed. And then we get on to the World albums, where in this one I've only heard Cyberpunk, Guerrilla, and The Ring. New World, I thought that was on the Outlaw album, no? This World, oh god. So I've heard This World, I've not heard New World. Where Do I Go, I've not heard. The Ring I haven't reacted to, but it was one that was on TikTok in the background of a video I was watching on TikTok. So, and I loved it, so I listened to the whole song, so I know that song. Guerrilla and Cyberpunk, again, really the two main ones I've heard there. I've not heard Propaganda or Sector 1, Where Do I Go, New World. Never heard Let's Get Together. Paradigm? I don't think I've heard that one. It's got a link to a music video though. Yeah, I don't remember that at all, so I think that's another one I've not seen. This entire album, apparently, this is a Japanese mini album. Wait, Japanese song called Paradigm, maybe I have heard it. I don't even remember. My beautiful, my love, my one and only Halazia, I obviously know that. And then it's just got some remixes on there, on that one. I don't think I've heard Limitless. People can correct me if I'm wrong. If you remember that I've heard them, then maybe I just need to refresh my memory. But I don't think I've heard Limitless or Diamond. That's another Japanese single. Then we had Outlaw. This was the last comeback they did before I discovered them. So this was already out when I looked into ATEEZ. It came out in June and I discovered them in August. This World I've heard, Bouncy I have heard, and Wake Up I have heard. Wake Up is also in my workout video. I've not heard June, Django, or Outlaw. Then this was the first comeback that they did since getting to know them. This was my first ATEEZ comeback, the first thing they put out after I knew of their existence. So I have heard every song on this album. I've heard Not Okay. I've heard every song on Golden Hour. So as you can see, my knowledge of their discography is probably about 50%. And considering I say they're my alt group, that's bonkers. I have got a lot of work to do. I did not know that I didn't know Fever, but that's definitely one I need to listen to the whole version of. If any of the songs that I've just said I haven't heard yet, if any of them you're like, oh my god, what are you doing? You need to listen to it now. Let me know and I'll prioritize it. I'll do another ATEEZ video soon where I actually kind of catch up on some of their past discography of things I need to catch up on. But that was really pretty, I'm not gonna lie. Fever was nice.
Oh my god. 에이티는 사랑해요.
Me too.
Oh, Empty Box is beautiful, but again, it makes me a bit emotional.
I've been searching for an empty box. That's what I need. 내 방 서랍 속에 남긴 너의 기억이 비내리는 날처럼 만들어 여전히 이젠 보내야 할 것 같아. I'll never miss you. I'll never miss you. And I'll never miss you. I'll never miss you. I gotta move on. 가득하는 저 쌓인 먼지도 덜지 못해 난 멈춰 갇혀버린 내 방에 가둬둔 기억 이젠 보내려고 해 창문을 열어 I gotta move on It's time to move on 영원할 것 같던 그 빛나던 추억 시간 속에 묻고서 흘려보낼게 알아 남아 잡고 있던 당길 수 없는 실이었단 걸 말야 If you are feeling the same way we should better than no one time together Leave everything behind Hope you come across something more than better Feeling the same way we should better than no one time together Leave everything behind Hope you come across something more than better
I love that song. I don't really need to say too much about it because I only reacted to it recently. It's on their most recent comeback. So anything you want to know how I feel about that song, or at least my first impressions of it, is already up on my channel. But it's beautiful. It's one of my favorite songs on the album, which is wild because it is one of their slower songs on the album. But it's just so beautiful. And again, it's such appreciation for me for Yuno and Songwa and the soft way that they sing. They really, for me, just stand out so much in this song. It's so beautiful the way they sing their lines. To hear Yasang's line as well at the end there, I absolutely adore how he sings his end to the chorus. And in general, they just all sound so beautiful. There's also something like really bittersweet about the message of the song. Like, I think everyone kind of the part of this song that really went the most viral was that I wish you something more than better, and how kind of sad but romantic that line is. But for me, it's this line as well, the line before it, I wish you better than our time together. So it's kind of looking back on the time that you had with someone that you loved and realizing that your time together with them probably wasn't the best time for them. It probably wasn't even a great time for them. You know, like, you provided them with not the best experience and the kind of best time that they could have had with you. So it's that kind of regret looking back on your past with someone that you loved, that I just think there's something so bittersweet about it, and the kind of loving someone enough to wish them better than what you could give them. I think it is just like such a powerful message for a song. So I just absolutely adore this song so much. And then yeah, big appreciation for my bias for sure. I love how he sings that line there.
아니 아직까지도 안 일어난 사람들이 있다고요?
I listen to Empty Box a lot, but it does make me emotional.
Get out.
빠르게
Get out.
그렇지 딩고 Let's go I need to forget this 막이 go in the show 할 나라까지 go 여기 곧 미친 품 아야야야 춤만 춰 막 go in the show 부르마 make them run 여기게 미친 품 몸을 올려 가져와 내 트로피 쉬는 건 어이 털발 Put up the drop beat 태워버려 pump it wow 5대6 내 돌아봤냐 사인중 내 죽여 round 세계 콤막에서 녹아 펄럭이는 my green flag 내버려둬 I don't mind 꼴상 나오면 눈 감아 Time is ticking 넌 빨라 Can't you see I'm a warming sign 이제 불렀더라 격하게 털어 Get my fire 그냥 마음대로 불러줘 We go wow I need to kick the drum My ego in the show 달나라까지 go 야 이거 미친 폼 아야야야 춤만 춰 My ego in the show 부르마 make them run 자기게 미친 네 다음은
I love it when you see someone singing and the people next to them are like singing along to that person's part. Like, they just love their music, and I think that's a really good sign when they enjoy their own music that they put out and they're singing along to it as well, even when it's not their turn to sing. I think that is a really good sign. I just love Crazy Form. I think obviously it was my first comeback for ATEEZ as an 18-y, so that album I'm attached to it for sure as like my first comeback as an 18 but Crazy Form and then following up with their next comeback for Golden Hour Work, the two title tracks there, I was just blown away by them. I think they're so catchy and so fun. So I was just obsessed with Crazy Form and then with Work when they came out. And both of those songs, again, are in the K-pop workout that I do every other day. So I listen to them a lot. So I'm trying very, very hard not to sing along to these songs. And occasionally I'm like humming along so that I can like mute it out in editing. But yeah, I just want to sing along because they're so catchy.
다들 적기라고 돈 많이 버세요.
Oh, is this Work next?
파이팅입니다. 파이팅. Let's go.
Yeah.
Gotta work, gotta make that money, make purse. Yes, gotta focus so I make it burn. Give a whiplash when they see me earn. Gotta work, gotta make that money, make purse. Gotta focus so I make it burn. Gotta get that credit, get purse. Gotta work. Yo. 눈 뜨면 착착 준비되는 golden plate.
That yo hits hard, no? It's so clear.
Gotta work, gotta make that money, make purse. Gotta focus so I make it burn. Give a real rush when they see me earn. Gotta work. Gotta make that money, make purse. Gotta focus so I make it burn. Gotta get that gotta get burned. Gotta work.
Hell yeah.
You can find me where I still gonna make that money, make purr. Hey, oh yeah, money, make purr. Hey. Gotta make that money, make purr. Oh yeah, give it up, money, make purr. Put him up now. Hey, gotta make that money, make.
I'm trying to work out if these microphones have a drinks holder on them or if Yusang has just somehow managed to magic his microphone stand so that he can put his water right in front of him because nobody else has done it. And everyone else is either holding theirs or it's on the floor. But I saw him messing around with it earlier and I've just realized it's just now sitting there. So I'm like looking at them like, is that a drinks holder? And none of them have realized but Yusang? Or has he just somehow managed to magic his microphone stand so that he can do that? It's like balanced precariously, I don't know. I love Work, it's so good. I do listen to it every other day when I work out and it's one of those songs I would say I listen to every day, especially before I start work. I normally get up early in the mornings and, have my breakfast and get ready for the day. And I will listen to Work to get hyped up for work. And I think so many 18E do that. It's kind of gone viral for being like the song to get you motivated to do what you need to do for the day. Even if you're not working, if you have stuff that you need to get done, this is the song to motivate you to do it. Like you gotta get your shit together and get it done. And it's definitely one of those songs where it's very difficult to have a standout for vocals or anything like that because they kick ass, they all deliver, they all sound so good with their lines. So they all are just amazing in this song, honestly. Love it so much.
ATEEZ였습니다. 둘,
Very
셋.
catchy.
감사합니다.
Thank you.
Thank you. What up?
They're coming back, aren't they? I thought there was more to the video, so I think they're coming back.
아니 우리
Yeah.
에이티즈인데 빠뜨린 곡이 하나 있네.
뭐지? 왜?
한국의 멋을 알려드려야 될 거 아니야.
그거.
음악 주세요. 음악 주세요.
하고 가야지. 빨리 하자.
음악 주세요.
What's the last song? Oh, The Real. Yeah. Hell yeah.
How you feeling?
I forgot.
ATEEZ present. Go in the mud, 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 go in the mud.
이게 바로 무슨기라.
아따고만 해라 너희들은 뭐 알고 하나 부질없다 건들건들 겉을 엿먹은 보다니 빈수라를 굴러 요란하다 그래 꼬사먹지 잡아줘도 지표해 인사는 90도 Yes sir yes sir 지금 너 내려 발걸음은 나똥 띠리롱 똥 띠리롱 똥 우린 뜨겁게 살아 난 누구보다도 험블한 카이네 신념을 지켜 누구든지 거위 모셔 벗어나게로 비춘 Keep it up Keep it up, keep it up, keep it up now
이런 게 바로 무신기라.
But come on class 자 새겨 들었다 Hey 우리 봐 ATEEZ power 거리럼 거리럼 거리거럼 거리럼 거리거리거럼 거리럼 거리럼 거리거럼
이런 게 바로 딩고 킬링 보이스입니다.
Hell yeah. Love that song.
감사합니다.
감사합니다.
I'm so glad they got a Killing Voice video. I'm so sad it took me this long to listen to it. So great. The Reel was another song, I think, when I first heard it, that I wasn't too sure about it, but then the more I listened to it, I think it was one of those where as I was talking about the music video and going back and replaying certain parts, it was already growing on me. And then I was like, actually, no, this is cool. And then I became obsessed with it. I think when I first added this to my playlist, it was on repeat over and over and over again. When I had like my 10-minute breaks at work, I would use that to listen to the Reel 3 times in a row. And then lunchtime was half an hour and it would be the Reel for like at least half of that. And then my afternoon 10-minute break, the Reel 3 times in a row. It was one of those that I became obsessed with, and it was like my hype song to get me hyped up. Very high energy. They have a lot of fun with it. The music and the instrumental parts of it were different from anything that I'd heard from ATEEZ up to that point. And it was the first music video where this cutie stood out to me for the first time. Until that point, I think Yesang and were just known as the two people whose names begin with Y. I couldn't really pick them out. I didn't really know any of them when I watched the Reel. I could just about pick out maybe San and Wooyoung. Maybe? I don't remember. Or maybe that was because San and Wooyoung were walking together and I was like, oh, these two. Yeah, I don't think I recognized them, right? I just said, oh, those two have chemistry, like walking side by side like that. And people were like, oh, that's Wooyoung and San. And they get put together in music videos a lot because they do kind of really pop off on the screen together. So I didn't really recognize anyone in ATEEZ very well at that point. And Yesang had been one of those people that I hadn't really pointed out in any other music video yet. But when I saw the Reel, I was like, who is this? I need to know. Who is this person? He was stunning in that music video. I think there's a shot of him. If you watch the reaction to me reacting to that music video, I actually pause it on a shot of him and say, like, look how stunning this shot is. I made that my phone wallpaper for like a month. He's stunning in that music video. He has a lot of energy. He has a great aura to him where my eyes were just always drawn to him. He had great vocals in it. He had so much fun with it. Really, he kind of came across like the main character in that music video, so he was the absolute standout for me. And it was the first time he really stood out to me, and then obviously with Halazia, I kind of really started to appreciate his voice more and stuff like that. So considering he is now my bias in the group, I usually say he is my bias followed by Songhwa, because Songhwa was my first bias. So whenever people ask me who my biases are, I say Yesang and Songhwa. And then at the moment, I've got 6 bias wreckers as well, especially Mingi. Mingi has been bias wrecking me real hard at the moment. I think I already relate to his anxiety and, his kind of introvertedness, but he's also having like so many soft boy moments at the moment where I just want to hug him. So Mingi is bias wrecking me a lot at the moment. Anyway, to hear this song and to remember that this is the music video where my current bias is like, that it's the first time he really stood out to me and I really noticed him is really nice. Again, lots of nostalgia going on that I really like. Overall, all love it. Love them. Love this killing voice. Absolutely amazing job by all of them. They all look stunning. I love this look for Hongjun, by the way, especially with the glasses and the shirt. I just think he looks great. I love the kind of natural brown hair color just on, you know, across the top of his face like this. It's just such a great style for him. Sungwoo with the long hair, I love it at the moment as well. Mingi with the blonde as well. I love blonde Mingi. I mean, he can rock just about any hairstyle anyway, any hair color. But I really love the blonde for him. You know, and Yasang both. I mean, I've seen them both with colored hair. We've seen like the green for Yasang, and we've seen like the, I think red mentioned earlier in Eternal Sunshine for I've seen them with dyed hair, but I also love to see this kind of light brown brunette kind of color on them. I think it looks really good on them. And then we have our our three people who I think look stunning with the darker hair as well. So all in all, they look so great in this. They look healthy, they look happy. Mingi is one of those people who looks great with accessories, whether it be on the jacket or, you know, necklaces, rings, all sorts going on. He always looks really great with accessories. I just love it. I think it's great. And I will say, if anyone watched my video recently for the Stray Kids comeback for 8, I did talk a little bit about line distribution and how I'm not one to be like overly fussed about line distribution. I don't really talk about it very often at all. And I'm really the kind of person who thinks like, if a member doesn't get very many lines, if they have an issue with it, I have no control over that. They're going to go to their manager or whatever. They're going to talk about it with the group, and they're going to, you know, they're going to work it out amongst themselves. These are fully grown men in their doing their job in their industry. I've got no control over that. I don't need to baby them or worry. So I've never been too fussed about line distribution. However, when I reacted to the Stray Kids comeback, I did talk a little bit about it, and I said that there is a group there is a group where, because I'm the kind of person, when I know all of the members in a group, I like to try and appreciate every member with a comeback, right? So if it's a group I've never heard of before and I'm looking into them the first time, I just pick out whoever stands out to me. If someone doesn't get picked out or anything, it's not my fault. I don't know them. I don't know if I'm picking out the same people every time. I just go by instinct. But when I know a group like this and they have a comeback, I like to try and appreciate every single member, because I say I have biases, but I am OT8, right? I love all of them, and they all have amazing talent and great personalities, and I love all of them so much. So I like to appreciate every single member where I can. But I mentioned with the Stray Kids comeback that there is a group where recently I have been struggling to do that. And I will admit it is ATEEZ. With their last comeback, or was it the comeback before? It probably was both, but I think mostly the last comeback. I really struggled to find things to pick out to compliment for Wooyoung and Yasang especially. They really had a few songs where they didn't get too many lines, and again, not normally one to notice this, as you know, I'm not sitting there going like, oh, they haven't sung for ages or whatever, but because I try to kind of think, okay, you know, now let's praise this person and this person and this person, let's, you know, talk about what they did great. In the last comeback, especially with Wooyoung and Yasang, I was like, I'm struggling. I was like, where did they sing in this song? And I was having to look. I remember with the lyric videos, I was going like this afterwards and looking for where their name lit up and their picture lit up so that I could kind of be like, okay, they did sing here. And it was like one line. And I did talk a little bit with the Stray Kids comeback about how they really they switch up who's singing very quickly, right? You get like one line, one line, one line. So it doesn't take very long for the person who sung the first line to get another line and then another line. Whereas with ATEEZ, you know, they tend to do bigger chunks belonging to one person, you know. So you do find that with some songs, not everyone gets as much of a chance to shine. Now, this is no hate to ATEEZ or, you know, the staff or the team, the company, anything like that. I'm not trying to start a debate about line distribution, but this is just what I've noticed as someone who does like to comment on every single person, that there are a couple of people in the group who in some songs it does feel like they don't get to contribute very much. And actually, the reason why I'm bringing this up today is because I'm really, really pleased with this Killing Voice video at how they've kind of the songs they've picked and where they've chosen to take the lines from. It really felt like everyone got their chance to shine, no? I was a little bit concerned that we were going to get, you know, with all of these kind of title tracks and things like that, that it is going to focus on the rap portions and the vocal portions. And we're really going to see a lot of kind of, especially these two, just kind of standing there. I was really concerned about that. And actually, no, that didn't happen. There were plenty of these songs where they were the ones singing lots and lots of times to really appreciate their vocals. So I just wanted to throw that out as a positive, considering that I didn't mention it was ATEEZ, but I did recently talk about line distribution with the Stray Kids comeback, and how with this group in particular, sometimes I do find that in some songs, not all of their songs, but in some songs, some of the members, they don't get as many lines as I would like. So it is really nice to watch this and be able to say, actually, I appreciated every single person in this is Killing Voice video. They all got multiple chances to sing, they had fun with it. And it does showcase that even in these tracks where sometimes it feels like they don't get many lines to sing, actually they do get some. It's quite nice. So that's really, really nice. I feel like I got to appreciate everyone a lot. I am a multi-fan, but I will say ATEEZ is one of my favorite groups of all time. They're way up there. If someone asked me what my favorite K-pop group is, I would probably say ATEEZ and Stray Kids as my two alt groups. They're so wonderful. They're all so talented. And it's just so nice to be able to appreciate all of their vocals, the way that they synergize together, their energy, their personalities. I mean, Happy Pill, look at him smiling there. It's so great, no? I honestly struggle to put into words how much I appreciate them and their music, and the impact that it's had on me as well, you know, since getting into K-pop. It really is just like such a positive impact this group has had on me, so it's just great to really appreciate their music. So all in all, I will say 10 out of 10 for this Killing Voice video. I love it. I love the songs they picked. My only criticism is that I would love to see Halazia in here. I can't believe they left Halazia out. I can understand the songs that they've picked, like there are some B-sides like Empty Box and things like that, and it's like, but I understand why it's in there, right? Because Empty Box is their slower paced song. It's different from a lot of these other songs. And what Killing Voice tries to do is show you the versatility of a group, show you their, you know, their most well-known tracks, but also, you know, they're not just known for their harder hitting tracks. Look, ATEEZ can do this as well. So Empty Box absolutely deserves to be in there. And honestly, I don't think that they should take any of these songs out to put Halazia in. I think they should have just made it a 30-minute video and added Halazia as well. That's my only criticism. I love that they started with Wave. Well, the first ATEEZ song I heard. Eternal Sunshine as well. It's such a beautiful song. I'm so glad they included it. What was this one again with the Hangul? Oh, Pirate King. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, you know, having their debut song in there, having their most recent comeback in there. Yeah, I think all these songs are great. I just really would have loved to see Halazia in there as well. Halazia, I think, you know, with Yasang's deep voice lines, with Sand's gorgeous singing in that, and just, oh, the music video for that. I could watch it honestly on repeat. I love it so much. Anyway, that is it for Killing Voice video. I'm sorry I waffled on for ages and ages and ages. I know that I normally listen to like all of this and then talk at the end, so I'm sorry if me doing it a bit differently today was a bit of a shock. It was not what you're used to, stopping in between each song. I just thought it would be nicer than trying to remember everything I wanted to say, and then any little things that stood out to me, I could just say them right away rather than forget about them or wonder what song I'd seen that in. And with ATEEZ, I could talk about them for ages, so it was easy to talk about each song, so sorry. If there are any other Killing Voice videos you think I should check out, please do let me know. The K-pop request form is still open, even though I'm not recording very often at the moment. I do still check it on a regular basis, so feel free to recommend things to me on that. At the moment, it's got a lot of requests for me to come back to a group I've just reacted to. So if I react to Zero Base One, then I'll get a load more stuff for Zero Base One to check them out again. If I then react to Plave, I get a wave of Plave requests, which is great, and that's great to have things for when I revisit those groups. But I do admit I'm feeling that craving again to look into a new group. You know, find someone I haven't heard any of their music before. So if anyone has any groups that I haven't checked out yet, feel free to recommend some songs. I really want to kind of discover some new groups. I always find that the most fun, getting to look into groups and you know, check out some new music. So that would be great. I do still need to do my other video on Tan. I've still got that playlist to work through for Tan, so I do want to revisit them. And the next thing I'm recording is going to be a birthday themed video for my birthday in 2 weeks. As you guys know, I like to do something a little bit special for my birthday and for Christmas, so I will be recording that next, which is going to be great. I know what I'm doing for that. I keep getting distracted by this thumbnail because it's really eerie. It's in Hypen, which is a group I've not checked out yet. Brought the Heat back. It came out 2 days ago. But the thumbnail is creeping me out. I keep getting distracted by it. Let me see if I can make it any bigger for you guys. It's something about the eyes of the person in the thumbnail. Look at this. Wearing contacts with like the cat's eyes slit or like the lizard eyes. Something like really unnerving about it. I'm not great with eye contact anyway, but there's something really unnerving about that. I don't know. It looks like they might have just had a comeback. These are all like 3 days ago, 2 days ago, 2 hours ago. But this is a group that I've not checked out yet. I've heard the fan base is big and scary and very defensive, so it's one that I've been a little bit intimidated to check out. Although I have wanted to check out their music, I'm a little bit intimidated for what the response will be. So I don't know. I'm getting really unnerved by that thumbnail, so I'm gonna come back here. All right, that is it for now. Let me know in the comments what you thought. I'm sorry it took me this long. I'm so glad that I watched it. It's so great. And as always, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.